Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, goal,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Got clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
and even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure you're road trip ready. So if you need a brake service, an alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
Rob Oppenheim is our guest. He is playing in the Wichita Open this week out at Crestview. He won the tournament back in 2015. Rob, how's it going?
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you out here in Wichita yet? I assume you are for the Pro-Ams and things like that.
I am. I flew from Greenville this morning. I'm here. I'm actually on the golf course right now. I'm on the 5th green. So just, getting a good walk around right now, then playing the Pro-Am tomorrow morning. So I know the course well, but it's always good to kind of get used to the conditions and how it's playing year to year. So it's playing firm, playing fast. It's hot out here, so the ball's going a long way.
Yeah, what have you seen so far from the course? You just said a couple things, and also just how much do you like coming to Wichita, because this is a place you have won in the past?
Yeah, anytime you've had success somewhere, it's always fun to come back. And, the people here are friendly, and I think the 17th hole here at Crestview's at this scene is probably one of the best scenes we have all on the Korn Ferry Tour. It's kind of, I'd say it's the Korn Ferry's version of the Waste Management over there at Phoenix for the PGA Tour. So it's always fun playing in front of a good crowd, and the course is great. It all depends on how much the wind blows out here, and I love coming here, and like I said, I think this is one of the better scenes we have out here on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Rob, I got to ask you, what's the biggest difference from playing to the Korn Ferry Tour to the PGA, and what's the difference for you as players to get there? I chatted with a guy probably 15, 20 years ago, Brendan DeJong. I don't know if you know him or met him.
I've played. Yep.
Yeah, so I was with him for a round, and I said, well, what's the difference? He goes, one putt every 9 holes. He goes, that's basically the difference between them and us. Is that true, or what would you say the biggest difference is from getting from the ferry to the PGA?
Well, at first, I think the top tier on the PGA Tour, the top 20 guys in the world, I think that's like maybe a little bit another level. Those guys are, the Schefflers, the Schauffele's, McIlroys, that kind of crowd, I think is a little step above. But then if you went from, middle of the road PGA Tour to the Korn Ferry Tour, I don't think you'd see any difference. And you could interchange the fields, and it really wouldn't be much difference. I think a little bit, nowadays, I think it's even more competitive. You got these guys coming out of college that are, hitting it long and straight and, pretty confident. I'm playing with a guy right now, Austin Greaser, right now. We're playing practice on. He was one of the guys that just came out of the PGAU program where there's 5 guys that come right out here from college. And, I'm playing with him, and, he's 22 years old or so, and looks like a seasoned pro. These guys have come out here ready to go. So the depth is here. It's deeper than I've ever seen. And, maybe I think the PGA Tour guys, as they've gotten older, they know their games maybe a little better, play a little smarter. Like you said, maybe it's a putt here or there, or just, knowing when to, maybe hit 3-wood instead of driver. I think these young guys play a little aggressive for sure. But when they're on, they're tough to beat. And, the golf is as competitive as I've ever seen it.
Rob Oppenheim, our guest, he's playing in the Wichita Open this week. You won the event back in 2015. So, yeah, when you won the event 9 years ago, which isn't that long, but it might feel kind of like a long time. A lot has happened since then. Where do you feel like you were at in your career then versus now?
Yeah, I think that was my 6th year on the Korn Ferry. It was the nationwide back then, and to get a win was the first year I got a win and got on the PGA Tour. So now I've kind of been on the tour back and forth a bunch, and so a little bit more seasoned, but still I haven't won since then. So I'm still trying to get my second win, working hard at it. But I feel good. I still love it. I'm 44, so I've been, I'm definitely one of the older guys out here. But I still love doing it, and I think that's the key. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be doing it. You gotta love this lifestyle. It's traveling week to week. It gets tough. I got 2 kids, so that's harder for me now. So I got to take some weeks off here and there. I used to play every single week, but I'm still loving it, and that's the key.
Well, Rob, and then I'll go back to this again. But so, what do you need to do to get back on the PGA? What do you need to do in order to qualify? Tell our listeners how guys from the Korn Ferry can automatically get there.
So the top 30 on our money list at the end of the year will go right to the PGA Tour. There used to be a playoff. They kind of got rid of all that. Just the end of the year, the top 30 guys go right to the PGA Tour and play in the 2025 season. So it's pretty clean. It used to be there'd be a mix of guys from the PGA Tour come down and do like a playoff system, but now it's just straight 30 guys right to the PGA Tour. So pretty simple. Top 75 guys make the Tour Championship, and then from there, there's 30 guys. So 75 guys will keep their card for the Korn Ferry Tour, and the top 30 go right to the PGA Tour.
And then how difficult is it, and I'm guessing you probably tried to qualify for the U.S. Open this week coming up, but how does that all work too? I know I get asked these questions a lot, so I'm sure it's be much better coming from you than me screwing it up.
So which is great now is, it always stinks when we have an event opposite the U.S. Open, so you don't want to, miss a Korn Ferry event and play the U.S. Open when you're playing on this tour, because it kind of can hurt you. But now they finally are rewarding guys points. So whatever you do on the U.S. Open, if you're a Korn Ferry Tour member, you'll get those points on the Korn Ferry Tour point list. So they've given some benefits to being a Korn Ferry guy and playing the U.S. Open and having success there. So, which is good, because you don't want to discourage guys. I know plenty of guys in years past would even try to play the U.S. Open because they're playing the Korn Ferry Tour and just want to kind of focus there. So now at least you're rewarded for good play on the U.S. Open if you're playing at this tour. And so I think that's a good change that they made the last couple of years.
Rob Oppenheim, our guest, playing in the Wichita Open this week. So this is a weird question, but do you think if you had been a long-term PGA player that was your life, how different of a player do you think you would be? Not better or worse necessarily, but I have to imagine there's something for kind of fighting for your spot every week, every year. You're chasing after something. How has that changed you as a person and as a golfer?
Yeah, I mean, you could call me a journeyman, a grinder. I think the biggest thing is, I love doing it. Like I said before, you couldn't do it for as long as I've done it. And, I've had some success, but not as much success as most, top guys on the PGA Tour. And, I'm still fighting every week. And to do it as long as I have, you got to love it. And, I think that's just been the key for me going forward. And, I love working hard. I love the sport. I love the people I've met. Like here in Wichita, I come here and I'm playing with the same program group I play with about 10 different times, and so each week I go. I definitely have kept in touch with a lot of different people, and traveled all over the world. So I wouldn't trade it. Maybe a little bit more, a few more putts made, a few more success, and maybe would like to be on the tour. But I do love the lifestyle, and you have to do as long as I have.
Yeah. So who have you seen out there every week? Some of the young guys who maybe we'll see on the PGA. Has anyone impressed you in particular on the Korn Ferry?
Well, I'll tell you what. This guy right now I'm playing with, Austin Greaser. He's from UNC. I wouldn't shocked to see him have success right away and get out there. Yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of guys that they come right out of college as this kid. Trying to think, this guy Ryan Gerard, who won last week, he's a UNC guy as well. He won by 6 shots at the BMW. So each week you're seeing guys I've never really played with and before, but you see these guys, these faces, and these guys come up that come out and dominate these fields and aren't scared. So each year you're going to see someone from this tour come up there who finish top 5 miles, will get right there and compete, win on the PGA Tour. Next thing you know, they're in all those contending in majors. So you see it every year I've played out here. Guy who has success goes right up there and carries it on. And there'll be a guy this year, whoever that top guy will be at the end of the year, we'll have a lot of success up there.
Is it one of those things where these kids are coming up now and they're just kind of all in shape, or that because it's all they do and that sort of thing, rather than 20, 30 years ago and, your regular golfer looks like I do now, because it was the same thing. I played hockey in the minors for 14 years, and we used to come to camp in the early 90s to get into shape. And then after a game, the fridge was full of beer. And then all of a sudden, 15 years later, I got coaches coming in saying, make sure you take your vitamins and your chocolate milk to get yourself back, and make sure you ride the bike after. And I'm thinking, what's happened? Is that a little bit of the same thing on the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry as well?
100%. Yeah, I mean the card games and the beers in the locker room have changed with foam rollers and protein shakes and all that stuff. It's completely changed.
It's not as much fun, is it, Rob?
I wouldn't say so. It's definitely it's not as much social. I would think a lot of these guys, it's a job, and they take it really seriously. I mean, I think you can still have fun and take it seriously, but yeah, these guys are way more focused than it used to be. They're committed. I think these college programs are like that, where these guys are really, working hard. They're it's almost like minor league sports. These, now how competitive the college, the NCAA stuff is, and they carry that right into the pro ranks. And they're committed. They're serious, and there's a lot at stake. So I get it. I understand why they are. But it's definitely changed a lot. There's no question.
Final moments.
I like the old days better.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Final moments here with Rob Oppenheim, who's playing in the Wichita Open this week. So you were born and raised in Massachusetts. I think you live in Florida now. But does this Boston Celtics game tonight have any meaning for you?
Yeah, big Celtics fan. They look good, 2-0, and they kind of pretty convincingly wins. And, I love Kyrie Irving going to Boston and kind of, shutting him out a little bit. So it's been fun to watch. I think it's going to be a tough one against, in Dallas. Luka and Kyrie are the two of the, best one-on-one guys there in the game. But Boston's got so many different weapons. I'm thinking Boston, I'm not sure they'll sweep them. I think if they get a game, this would be the game that Dallas could. They know they got to win tonight for them to go on.
Yeah, good stuff, man. We really appreciate it. Enjoy your time in Wichita. Good luck in the Pro-Am tomorrow and in the tournament later this week. We appreciate your time.
Okay, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
Yes, goal.
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure you're road trip ready. So if you need a brake service, an alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
And even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.